Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to our session. Well, for the following part, because there are some administrative aspects, well, I'm gonna provide, let's say, that information in Spanish. Guys, entonces, bueno, ya estamos a puertas de terminar nuestro primer ciclo del B1. Entonces, como les contaba yo ayer, esta mañana les envié un correo. El correo que siempre les envío como haciendo referencia a los recordatorios, cositas a tener en cuenta. Para la gran mayoría de ustedes, me atrevo a decir que para todos, la verdad. Eso ya es algo como muy normal, muy común. Entonces, primero pues hablando de la distribución de los porcentajes, que nunca va a cambiar, siempre va a ser exactamente igual. Pasaba a recordarles también lo de los módulos del aula virtual. Perdón, I'm tired, just like you. Y bueno, para que tengamos en cuenta, los cuestionarios del aula virtual van a estar habilitados hasta el día martes, que viene siendo nuestro día final. En otras ocasiones, cuando terminamos el ciclo y tenemos como el fin de semana, por decirlo así, por delante, digamos que el calendario nos permite dar un día de más, porque pues es hasta el siguiente día hábil que tenemos que pasar al reporte y todo, pero pues como esta vez terminamos entre semana y como ustedes ya se lo podrán imaginar, bueno, Manuel preguntaba el otro día, el siguiente ciclo arranca el viernes, entonces no es posible como extender un poquito más el plazo para los cuestionarios, ya que la idea es que el miércoles, entre lo más rápido y temprano posible, se haga el envío de la información de las notas y todo eso para que lo tengamos presente. Y esa es la razón por la cual no hay como más tiempito para los cuestionarios. Yo no puedo asumir que el hecho de que sea festivo quiere decir que ustedes vayan a tener todo su tiempo libre disponible para esto, porque obviamente cada cual tiene su agenda y sus cosas que hacer. Entonces espero, ojalá le puedan sacar un poquito de tiempo a esto, porque al igual que el examen final, lo tenemos para el martes 29 de marzo. Y también otro de los recordatorios que les hacía en el correo era lo referente a el envío, más que envíos como en la subida, por decirlo así, de nuestro primer avance del proyecto. Ya que esta vez va a ser individual, ayer no alcancé a revisar todas las intervenciones. Digamos, esta primera intervención se presta un poco para que todavía hayan ciertas cositas como por ajustar, ya que de aquí en adelante es que vamos a empezar como a editar el material propiamente. Bueno, Jorge todavía no toma asistencia. Y bueno, lo de siempre, también compartiendo con ustedes los parámetros del examen, que la idea es de pronto darles una miradita rápidamente, por decirlo así, ustedes ya también están familiarizados con esa información, pero pues no sé más cómo hacer los recordatorios de siempre. El examen lo tendremos obviamente el próximo martes en nuestro primer bloque. Eso por ese lado. Y bueno, como ustedes bien saben, en nuestra sesión número 9 tenemos nuestra encuesta de satisfacción. ¿Listo? Entonces, guys, les voy a enviar acá el link. Ustedes ya están familiarizados con el formato como tal. Y pues bueno, esto siempre hace parte entre los entregables como uno de los que no se pueden dejar pasar, además de los informes que nosotros como docentes enviamos. Y bueno, puede que suene obvio lo referente a las notas. Guys, entonces los invito a que en esos minuticos hagamos la encuesta. Bueno, voy a tomar asistencia porque ya se me están, no es que se me haya olvidado ni mucho menos, no he tomado asistencia. Les decía, bueno, la idea es que hagan la encuesta ahorita, como ustedes saben, si no la toman desde coordinaciones, tales estudiantes faltan, recuerde tales estudiantes y luego si hay cambio de bloque hasta que no presenten la encuesta, digamos que no los vamos a dejar tranquilos. Entonces voy a volver a enviar el link y mientras ustedes están tomando la encuesta, pues aprovecho y tomo asistencia. ¿Listo? Y ahí sí oficialmente arrancamos con lo que vamos a trabajar el día de hoy. Y les dejo hablar en español. Let me see, let me see. Pues como sé que salen la encuesta y tienen que pasar aquí a la sala, digamos a decirme presente, pues no voy a afanarlos. Nunca los afano, creo yo. I don't know. Today the 17th. Karen Victoria Acevedo.
Present.
Okay. Steven Santiago Fonseca.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Sergio David Gómez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Kiara Lizeth Martínez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jorge Jair Moreno.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Natalia Navarro. ¿Me había escrito en el chat? Perfecto, Natalia, listo. Diego Fernando Olarte.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Dana Valentina Ortiz.
Present, Miss.
Ok. Manuela Ortiz.
Yes, teacher.
Ok. Sebastián Pavón. Not here for the moment. Beatriz Pedraza.
Miss.
Ok. Hamilton Peña.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Xiomara Rincón.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Jessica Paola Ríos.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Catherine Rodríguez.
Present, Miss.
Ok. Mendy Fabián Santa.
Teacher present.
Ok. Esperar. Manuel Alberto Sepúlveda.
Present, teacher.
Ok. María Alejandra Vega.
Present, teacher.
Ok. Vanessa Zambrano.
Present, teacher.
Ok. And Marlon Yesid Sánchez. He says he's present in the chat. And I also saw Sebastián Paón.
Present, teacher.
Okay, very good. Guys, I had just sent the link for the survey that we always have to do at the end of the cycles, you know. There you go. Remember, guys, that this is one process that we always have to do when we finish a cycle. I just sent the link. I was taking attendance, but I know that you need probably some minutes. I'm going to give you 4 more minutes. Probably some of you have already finished. I was telling you also that remember that all of you have to send it. Guys, I'm going to say also that in Spanish para que quede en la grabación. Recuerden que todos deben hacer la encuesta. A medida que va avanzando la sesión, la coordinadora nos va diciendo qué estudiantes faltan. Obviamente, ya al momento del reporte, el reporte es anónimo, pero sí se lleva como, digamos, el registro de que cada estudiante de cada grupo haga el envío de la encuesta. Entonces, les voy a dar 5 minuticos para que la terminen, para asegurar, especialmente para las personas que acabaron de ingresar, y ahí sí oficialmente arrancamos con lo que vamos a trabajar esta noche. Entonces, 5 minutes starting now.
Teacher, qué pena una pregunta.
Señor, cuénteme.
Es que no está al comienzo de la clase. El lunes vamos a tener clase.
No, Manuel, no tenemos clase ni los festivos ni durante Semana Santa. El
Ah,
examen
vale.
lo tenemos el martes.
Vale,
Ujú.
listo. Gracias.
Welcome.
Teacher.
Yes, Mendy.
Whitney. Teacher, último
Hello.
plazo para subir el documento es hoy, ¿cierto?
Sí, sí, señor.
Ah, bueno, teacher, ya me pongo el día.
Ok.
Estoy saliendo muy tarde del trabajo, teacher, a las 9:10.
Oh my God, no, sí. Tarde,
Ok,
tarde.
teacher.
Ok. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Please don't forget to send it. Otherwise, I will have to ask you, and then Professor Laura Juliana would have also to ask you to do the survey that we always have to do at the end of the cycle. Okay. Well, guys, we officially have a look at tonight's topic. We continue, of course, working on Unit 4. Remember the title of the unit. It was Real Lives. In particular, today we will be talking about vocabulary and the second grammatical component. In terms of vocabulary, from our page 40, we will be talking about life events. And in terms of the grammatical components, once again, we will be talking about present perfect, but in this case, we will discuss, let's say, why not a versus or a comparison, it is more appropriate, with present perfect continuous. So let's start first with the activity that is related to vocabulary. Remember, guys, that precisely this is a little bit related to the topic of your project, you know, especially talking about life events, the ones that you consider relevant in your life. On this box, let's call it box, There are some words which actually are related to different events of our life. The idea, guys, is that you are going to classify all these words into these 4 categories. We have love and relationships, home and family, education, and career. Notice that bring up your children, it's already in the section of home and family. Graduate is already in the section of career, okay? That means that we already used these 2 phrases, so we don't need to use them anymore. Of course, the idea is to classify all these phrases and words into the 4 categories, okay? Let's read the words that we have in here. On the first column, we have, as already told you, that we have already used. Bring up your children and graduate. Beatriz, could you read the other phrases on the first column, please?
Yes. Get a promotion, get to university, leave school, make a lot of money, rent or buy a house.
That would be it. Very good. Let's have a look at the second column. Diego, could you read it, please?
Yes, teacher. Change job, get divorced, get a job, have children, lose your job, pass your exams, and start school.
That would be it. Very good. And the third column, Hamilton, could you read it, please?
Teacher, love and relationship.
No, Hamilton, for the moment, we are just reading the phrases and words that we have here in the third column.
Teacher, fall in love, get
Mhm.
engaged, get married, leave home, move house, retire, quit your job.
Very good. All of these words have to be classified. And of course, as you can already imagine, guys, we can't repeat words into different categories. For example, bring up your children is only for home and family. Probably in some cases we can discuss like a possibility to put it in a different category, but the idea that you use them only once, okay? Guys, do you have any questions about the instructions? Or first, actually, first, do you have any questions related to the vocabulary that we have in here?
Yes, teacher. Me. What does get engaged mean? Engaged on the third column, the second.
Get engaged
Get
is
engaged.
when you propose your partner to get married.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Very good. We remember, guys, that we are working on pages 40 and 41. Okay. Well, there are a lot of words. Some of them probably are, let's say, easy to identify and to classify. Others probably require a little bit of extra analysis. Let's put it like that. I'm going to give you 7 minutes. Okay, guys, for you to classify the words. And then, of course, we will see how you classified those words. Let's start. 7 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, time's up. Let's see how you classified the words based on the category that they belong to. Let's start with the first one. We are talking about love and relationships. Sebastian, which words did you include on that first category, please?
Fall in love,
Mhm.
get married,
Okay.
and get divorced,
One more.
and I don't know if getting in next,
Get engaged.
but yes.
Yes, Sebastian, that would be also included in there, like comprometerse. So it belongs to that category as well. Let's have a look at the second category. We are talking about education, Jorge.
Education. Go to university, pass your exams, start school.
Start school.
Start school.
And there is also one more, Jorge.
Graduate.
Okay, I don't know why here they place it on career, but I also agree that it's in education. And then besides graduate, there is one more. If we have a start school, then we can also use, let's say, like the opposite. Do you have any other? Let me ask for some help. Jorge, Karen, besides the ones that Jorge already said, go to university, pass your exams, start school, graduate. Do you have another one that we can include in education?
Teacher, I'm not sure if retire.
Not really.
Like a school.
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 Leave school. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. Let me see. Ya les envié el mensajito. What about home and family? Katerina Alexandra, which of these words and phrases you included in that category?
Yes, Miss. I think rent or buy a house. Have children. Move house.
One more.
Maybe leave home.
Very good. Those are the ones, Kathleen. Thank you. So based on that, which ones we have left for career, Kiara?
Teacher, for career, get a promotion, change job, lose your job, retire, lose your job, retire and quit your job.
Quit your job.
Okay.
Very good. And there is one more. That is also connected to career.
Get a job.
Okay, get a job as well. And one more. I'm checking my list here on my notebook of the words. Usually it is connected to the career, you know, the expectation of any job that we get. One of the expectations.
Maybe make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money. Very good. That would be the idea in this case. Well, all the words have been classified. Any questions from the vocabulary, guys?
Teacher, quit your job. What's the meaning?
Renunciar.
Okay.
Very good.
Is the same to be fired?
Well, it would be like, depending on the perspective. Quit your job would be like, you don't like your job, so you make the letter of resignation and you take it to your boss. While if you get fired, it's because your boss is telling you that you don't work in that place anymore and that you have to leave. So like.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, Mandy, good. Well, guys, give me a second. I was submitting that first question. Of course, everybody has a different perspective on that. And one of the activities that we will do as the final output of the session actually is connected to that part. So I don't want to, let's say, spoil the fun yet. It says that we could work in pairs, but we're gonna do it as a plenary, here in the group. And guys, from the phrases and the different classification that we just did, I would like to ask, of course, based on the amount of information that you want to share, I don't want you to think that I'm like, let's say, being too nosy on your personal life, Manuel. Which of those things you have done?
From which ones, teacher?
From the box that we had in here, like from these ones.
Oh, well.
The ones that we classified. Yeah, the
well,
ones that you want to share, of course, which you have done.
Okay, I have graduated. I have got a promotion. I went to university. I left school. I haven't made a lot of money yet.
Yet, very good, Manuel. Yet, that means that we still have time, of course.
Yes. I am close to rent a house.
Great.
I have changed a job. I have got a job. I have. I'm not sure. Maybe I have lost a job. I started school. I passed exams. I fell in love. I left my home. I have moved. I have moved from my parents' house. And I have quit my job before. Yep.
Okay, Manuel. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Same question, but in this case, I'm gonna ask it to Maria Vega. Once again, from these words and phrases in the box, which of these things have you done? The ones that you have done, like for the moment, the answer is yes.
Leave school. Pass your exams. Start school.
Could you repeat?
Leave school. Pass your exams.
Well, my exams, because you're talking about like your exams.
Oh, my exams. Any more?
No more? Okay, Maria, no problem. Now the negative. Which haven't you done? Marlon, from this list that we had in here. Marlon?
Can you hear me, teacher?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't yet make a lot of money. And
retire,
Mm-hmm.
and quit your job,
My job.
my job. Yes.
Creo que la volví a ver yo.
Get divorced, uh, lose your job, and anymore.
No
I
more.
think.
Okay, Marlon, that's okay. And finally, from this list that we have in here, which do you think or you are hoping to do in the future? In this case, I would like to ask Mandy.
Teacher, for the last leads, probably pass my exam, my English exams,
Of course, of course.
and no more, teacher.
Okay, that would be it. Very good, guys. Remember that this vocabulary is going to be like very important, talking about those life events for the future. And let me zoom out a little bit now. We are going to move to the next activity that we have on our book. In particular, we're talking about Meltem's lifeline. It is somehow similar to a timeline, pretty much is the same. As you can see, what we have in here are some events and the years when those events happened. Also, guys, as you have already noticed, the timeline is a little bit incomplete. So first of all, we're going to read the timeline, with the information and also the blank spaces that it has. And then we are going to listen to complete the information that is being requested, okay? But as I told you, we're going to read what we have in here, the 9 events that are being presented. Let's start with number 1, number 2, and number 3. Natalia, please, could you read them?
Yes, teacher, but I'm not able to see the screen. Maybe it's for my connection.
Oh, okay, Manuel, Natalia, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, no, don't worry. Probably
It's
the
just
what?
loading.
Yeah, but you already told me that you're having problems with the
I'm not
connection.
able to see.
Okay. Don't worry, Natalia. Maybe in your WhatsApp group, guys, probably, well, eventually, of course, can help you like sending you a screenshot so you can do the activity later. I hope that it gets better. Don't worry, Natalia.
Thank you.
Okay. The good thing is that we have more classmates to ask for help. Manuela, please, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Manuela.
Yes, teacher. You just reading?
Yeah, for the moment, just reading. Just like to
Okay.
recognize the activity, vocabulary.
Okay, teacher. 1990, I was born. 1996, I started school. 1998, I start learning.
Started learning, and for the moment, we don't know what she started learning. That would be it. Thank you, Manuela. Sergio, please, 4, 5, and 6.
Teacher, number 4. Let me see.
Yeah, for the moment, we don't know. So the statement that we have actually there.
Okay. We move? No, I don't know.
Just read, Sergio, what the information
Okay.
that you have. For the moment, what we don't know the answers yet. So just read.
I moved to Istanbul with my family. 2002, my dad gave me my first. 2008, I finished high school and began studying at university.
That would be it. Thank you very much, Sergio. Yes, guys, don't worry. because you may be wondering, but we haven't like listened anything. Yeah, we haven't. We are just reading just to predict how the events, developed through her life. And Stephen, please, could you read 7, 8, and 9?
I joined a band called Jedi Kisler. I met Celine. I left university and got my first job in my business.
That would be it. Thank you very much. Let me zoom out a little bit. Well, you already noticed how her timeline develops. What we're going to do, I'm trying to zoom out. Remember, guys, that what we're going to do now is that we're going to listen in order to complete those blank spaces that are part of those events that happened in her life. What I can tell you, and also what you have already noticed, of course, is that in some parts, what we need to complete is a number, and in some parts, it's only one word. So I don't want you to worry, like to think that maybe you have to write down like a complete sentence. No, it's only or one number or one word, okay? So I think, well, anyway, while it is, let's say, let me move this here a little bit. While the recording is, like developing, I will be moving the timeline so you can have a look at it. Although I know that you have like a better view from your books. We're gonna listen twice, okay? And as usual, guys, in case that you need to listen a third time, please let me know. Guys, do you have any questions about the instructions?
No, miss.
Okay, let me adjust the screen so we can start listening.
Unit 4, Recording 4.
Okay, so I was born in Ankara in 1990 and I spent my childhood there. I started school, primary school, in 1996. And it was at primary school when I was 8 that I started learning English. I remember my teacher was really strict in class, but we all loved her. I've been learning English ever since because my primary school teacher taught me to love the language, I guess. And then when I was 12, we moved, my family and I, to Istanbul. So that was in 2002. I really didn't want to move, I remember. So my dad had to buy me a guitar when we moved, as a present. And I started having guitar lessons. So what's next? I left high school and started university in 2008, studying business. I was there for 4 years. And in 2011, I met Selim. And we've been going out together since then. And do you want to know if I'm in love? I'm not telling anyone. It's a secret. And after I left university in 2012, I started working for my uncle's import-export business. It's a really nice job, and I get to use my business skills, so that's great. What else can I tell you about my life? Well, all those guitar lessons weren't a waste of time because now I'm in a band. It's called Yedi Kızlar. It means 7 girls in Turkish. And we're called that because it's obvious, really. There are 7 of us in the band and we're all girls. Actually, I've been in 3 different bands, but this one is definitely the best. Anyway, Yedi Kızlar started in 2010 and we've played about 20 gigs and we've got a few fans. I think we've got about 500 followers on Facebook. And what else? Well, I'd really like to get a flat of my own. It's really crowded in my parents' flat. I've been looking for ages for something I like and that I can afford, just to rent. And today, I think maybe I found the right one. Finally, I'm so excited.
Unit 4, Recording 4.
Okay, so I was born in Ankara in 1990 and I spent my childhood there. I started school, primary school, in 1996. And it was at primary school when I was 8 that I started learning English. I remember my teacher was really strict in class, but we all loved her. I've been learning English ever since because my primary school teacher taught me to love the language, I guess. And then when I was 12, we moved, my family and I, to Istanbul. So that was in 2002. I really didn't want to move, I remember. So my dad had to buy me a guitar when we moved, as a present. And I started having guitar lessons. So what's next? I left high school and started university in 2008, studying business. I was there for 4 years. And in 2011, I met Selim, and we've been going out together since then. And do you want to know if I'm in love? I'm not telling anyone. It's a secret. And after I left university in 2012, I started working for my uncle's import-export business. It's a really nice job, and I get to use my business skills, so that's great. What else can I tell you about my life? Well, all those guitar lessons weren't a waste of time, because now I'm in a band. It's called Yedi Kızlar. It means 7 girls in Turkish. And we're called that because it's obvious, really. There are 7 of us in the band, and we're all girls. Actually, I've been in 3 different bands, but this one is definitely the best. Anyway, Yedi Kızlar started in 2010, and we've played about 20 gigs, and we've got a few fans. I think we've got about 500 followers on Facebook. And what else? Well, I'd really like to get a flat of my own. It's really crowded in my parents' flat. I've been looking for ages for something I like and that I can afford, just to rent. And today, I think maybe I found the right one. Finally! I'm so excited.
Okay, guys, we have already listened twice. I would like to know if you have already gotten all the answers, or maybe you need to listen one final time.
One final time.
For
please.
me, it's okay.
Okay, well, let's play it the last time. Thank you very much, guys, for answering, and then we will check our answers, okay?
Unit 4, Recording 4.
Okay, so I was born in Ankara in 1990 and I spent my childhood there. I started school, primary school, in 1996. And it was at primary school when I was 8 that I started learning English. I remember my teacher was really strict in class, but we all loved her. I've been learning English ever since because my primary school teacher taught me to love the language, I guess. And then when I was 12, we moved, my family and I, to Istanbul. So that was in 2002. I really didn't want to move, I remember. So my dad had to buy me a guitar when we moved, as a present. And I started having guitar lessons. So what's next? I left high school and started university in 2008, studying business. I was there for 4 years. And in 2011, I met Selim, and we've been going out together since then. And do you want to know if I'm in love? I'm not telling anyone. It's a secret. And after I left university in 2012, I started working for my uncle's import-export business. It's a really nice job, and I get to use my business skills, so that's great. What else can I tell you about my life? Well, all those guitar lessons weren't a waste of time, because now I'm in a band. It's called Yedi Kızlar. It means 7 girls in Turkish. And we're called that because it's obvious, really. There are 7 of us in the band, and we're all girls. Actually, I've been in 3 different bands, but this one is definitely the best. Anyway, Yedi Kızlar started in 2010, and we've played about 20 gigs, and we've got a few fans. I think we've got about 500 followers on Facebook. And what else? Well, I'd really like to get a flat of my own. It's really crowded in my parents' flat. I've been looking for ages for something I like and that I can afford, just to rent. And today, I think maybe I found the right one. Finally! I'm so excited.
Okay, it's time to have a look at our answers. What word did you write on statement number 3? Valentina Ortiz. Valentina. Let's see the chat. Okay, Valentina. Let's ask Vanessa for some help. Vanessa, what do you have in number 3?
Teacher, 1998, I start learning in English.
English. Very good. Also in the chat, Jorge said English. That's the answer. Excellent, guys. Xiomara, what about number 4? In the case of number 4, it was a year.
Sorry, teacher, I don't have the answer.
Okay, let's ask Jessica for help. Jessica, do you have number 4?
2020.
Which one?
In 2012.
Relax, Jessica. Let's see, Catherine.
Yes, Miss, 2002.
2002. Very good. Let's have a look at the chat. Diego says also 2002. Very good. That was a kind of a little tricky one. Beatriz, what about number 5?
Hi,
What
teacher.
word?
Really, this I don't hear well.
You didn't hear it well.
Only this phone. Sorry, teacher.
Don't worry. Let's see the chat. When Maria send it to me. Maria, you are right. But let me ask maybe Diego if he has number 5.
Number 5, in 2002, my father gave me my first guitar.
Very good. Look at the picture. That's the object that she's making reference to. That's the one. Hamilton, what about number 6?
Teacher, I don't have that answer.
Okay, Hamilton. That was a tricky one. Let's see. Mandy sent it. And Mandy, you are right. Yes.
Number 6, 28. I finished high school and began studying business at university.
Very good. It's business. Absolutely. The guys that sent me the answer to the chat, you were also absolutely right. Good, Beatriz. And What about number 7? Number 7 was a number, Sebastián. Well, a number, no, a year, to be more precise. Sebastián. Jorge says, we're talking about number 7, right? El Sebastián. We don't know where he is. Yes, Vanessa, very good. Actually, it's 2010. That's for number 7. And then what about number 8, Jorge?
Fall in love. I'm not sure.
Okay. What year would be on number 8? Steven, yes.
In 2011.
It would be 2011. Very good. And to finish her timeline, Karen Victoria, what about number 9? Which word did we use in that one?
Teacher, 2012, I left my university and go my first job in my uncle's business.
My uncle's business. Very good. Okay. Well, it was a little bit tricky. Probably something that you noticed was that the events were not that, let's say, organized in terms of how they happened chronologically, right? In some cases, she was talking about an event, then she talked about Mary Selim, and then she talked about taking part of the band. So it was a little bit tricky at some point, okay? Well, guys, I'm gonna send you, well, actually you have this information on page 170, but I know that some of you probably in this moment don't have access to the book. I'm gonna send you something to the chat, which is basically the script of the conversation, well, not the conversation, you know, like the intervention that she has just done. Let me send it. Abrir, mensaje, no necesario. There you go. I'm sending you the script, guys, but of course, the ones that have the book, you can go to page 170, because the idea, guys, is that for you to have a look at the script in order to complete these sentences that we have in here. There are 3 sentences that actually we have to do the math based on the information when they present it. So just read the script and make sure that you complete it. I'm going to do number 1 as an example. It says she lived in Ankara for 12 years. That's the information that you will find on the script. Well, I'm not going to do the number 3. It's going to be like an impossible task. Yeah, I couldn't move it. So in the case of number 1, that's the number that she is assigning. For all the spaces, guys, that we have in here, what you have to write down is a number. So I need you to be very careful with that part of the instruction, okay? That's why I sent you the script for you to have a look at it. Guys, could you download the script that I sent to the chat, or I sent it only to one person? Guys, did you have access to the script that is sent to the chat?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you, Jorge. Of course, guys, once again, if you want to have a look at the book, remember that the script is on page 170. Make sure to read it in order to complete the numbers that are necessary here to have the complete ideas. Well, we already listened to the information, but anyway, guys, I'm going to give you 5 minutes for you to read the script and complete the statements, okay? That would be it. Any questions about the instructions, guys?
No, teacher.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. 5 minutes starting now.
Teacher?
Yes.
For the ones that says like about one number of years, shall we like use the current year because it doesn't say?
Yes, Manuel, we have to do the math. Those would be number 3,
Okay.
number 6, and number 7, right? We have to do
Yes.
the math.
Yes,
Yes.
because okay. Thank you.
Good question. Absolutely. Maybe guys, because of that, I'm gonna give you like a couple of extra minutes for you to do the math. So you can actually make sure that it matches to, let's say, the current year where we are. Well, guys, time's up. As I told you, it added a couple of minutes for you to do the math, especially for those ones where we are talking about compared to our current year. So, of course, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's see. Let me ask Jessica, could you read number 1, please?
She lived in Ankara for, with the answer.
Pero ya la había dicho yo, ¿no? Era 12. Number 2, Jessica, please.
Okay. She's been studying English since she was 8 years.
Very good. Since she was 8. Let's now look at number 3. We actually had to do the math. Xiomara.
Teacher, since 2002,
Number 3.
She's been living in Istanbul for mm,
Or if we have a look here at the timeline, she moved to Istanbul. We said that it was 2002, right? 2002. So we can't use since because we are talking about 4. 4 is to talk about a period of time. So if she is moved to Istanbul in 2002 and if we do the math, how many years would that be?
okay, 10 years.
10 years. No estamos en 2012. Cuidado con esas cuentas. Let's have a look at the timeline once again. Remember that in here, the answer was 2002. So in 2002, she started living in Istanbul. Now we are in 2023. So Steven, what's the answer for number 3?
Teacher, just for clarified, we have to answer the statements have an account that we are in the year 2023.
4 questions, number 3, number 6, and number 7. Yes, Steven.
Okay, now, so according to that, the answer for the third is 21 years.
Very good. Yeah, some answers have a fixed, some questions, sorry, have a fixed answer, like for example, the first one, because we are talking about since. We're talking about that period of time in particular. In this case, number 2, sorry. We are talking about since. Remember that since talks about the moment something starts. So that doesn't change. The case of 4, it can be adjusted, you know, because, well, the years keep on passing. So it is going to like increase. That is going to be the situation. I know that those ones are a little bit tricky because then we have to look at the timeline and then like count them to make them match to our current year. You are right. Let's have a look at number 4. In this case, I'm going to ask, okay, Catherine.
Yes, Miss. She studied business for 4 years at university.
Absolutely. In that case, we don't have any changes. Those were the years and no more. Valentina. No, la he escuchado hoy. What about number 5?
Number 5 means?
Yes. In this case, it's the same year. No changes.
She's been going out with Selim since 20 years.
Remember, Valentina, that when we say since, it's the beginning of a point in time. So in here, it's just to put a year. According to the timeline, remember the answer, it was in which year did she started dating Selim, guys? You remember when we completed the timeline event number 8? Which year did we put in here?
2011.
2011.
Yep.
Very good. So that's the moment when she started dating the guy. Since would be desde. Okay. Let's have a look at number 6. We had to do the math for number 6. Steven, please.
The sixth one? The sixth?
Yes.
Okay. She's been working her uncle. for about 11 years.
11 years. That would be it. After doing the math, let me see the chat. Catherine, you were right. What about number 7? Manuela, please.
Okay, teacher, she has been working for her uncle for about 11 years.
That was number 6. I was asking you number 7.
Ah, sorry. She's been in the band for about 13 years.
Very good. That's okay. Mandy, what about number 8?
Teacher, I don't have the answer.
Okay, let's ask Marlon for some help. What about number 8? Marlon?
Teacher, sorry, I just arrived at my home.
Okay. Maria, let's help Marlon.
They have played about 20 gigs.
20 gigs. Very good. That case, no changes about the number. That's specifically how much they have, let's say, planned. You know that gigs is related to the presentations that they make. And we finish this part with exercise with number 9. In this case, I would like to ask Manuel.
Yes, teacher.
What about number 9? In that case, it wasn't a number, right? It was just a word.
Yes, she's been working for a, no, sorry. She's been looking for a flat recently and she thinks that she has finally found one.
Very good. You know that flat would be like the British version when we are talking about apartments. Okay. Well, guys, actually it took more time than the expected. That's usual. The idea was to analyze that listening information as much as possible. I'm trying to zoom out. Not only to complete the timeline, which would have been like the typical exercise. Notice that even we had the chance to have a look at the script in order to complete the second part. And I'm sure, guys, that you notice in the script, once again, that we are paying all our attention on a very, I would say common, more than we would think, grammatical component, which is talking about present perfect. Yesterday, we started talking about present perfect, right? And there are different uses for present perfect, but at the end of the day, we are going to assign probably the most common use, which is that past situations that have a connection to the present started in the past and continue in present. But now we are also paying attention to another grammatical structure that is present perfect continuous. Guys, in reality, you know, like talking about real life, let's put it like that, there are not like very deep differences between both of them. Because both of them, as I was telling you, are talking about something that started in the past and still have an impact in our present. Probably what is going to be one of the differences? The continuous form is telling us about something that is more in progress, while the simple form, in this case, is talking about something that looks more completed. But as I was telling you, in real life, at the end of the day, both tenses are not that different from each other in terms of meaning. It is actually how you want to sound. If the action is completed, once again, or if the action is in progress. Before we continue having a look at the uses, let's analyze a little bit how we create the sentences, you know, like the grammatical component. Yesterday, we already talked about the auxiliaries. Remember that we have and also has. And we are also talking about the verbs in past participle. Remember that yesterday we played a Kahoot and that you had a mini homework that we're going to check after we have a look here at the grammatical, let's say, information, you know, just to refresh your memory. Of course, we also have questions, you already know. And in the case of questions, we also use the auxiliaries and the verbs in past participle. What is going to be the difference with the present perfect continuous that, again, started in the past and continues in present, but it's giving me the idea of progression. We have the auxiliary, has or have. In this case, the verb to be is going to be been, and the verb, of course, the main verb with ing. Remember, guys, that the ing is actually the part of the statement that is giving me the progression, okay? And all the ideas that are in continuous form require the verb to be. In this case, being is the, let's say, the representative of the verb to be. So we have the way to create the statements in present perfect, in simple form. I'm going to call it simple from now on. And here, the characteristics that we need to keep in mind when we're talking about the continuous. The other name in the chat is also present perfect progressive. Continuous and progressive mean basically the same in this, let's say, grammatical information. So maybe we want to know like more cases where we want to use them. Remember that the simple forms always emphasize when something is completed, right? While the continuous form, as I was telling you, emphasizes on things that are in progress. For example, number 2, verbs that take no time to complete. For example, she's just started a new job. Guys, this contraction, what does it mean? If we say she's just started, what's the meaning of this contraction here in cheese?
Like she has.
She has, very good. There was a question in the chat, well, for me, of course, that how to recognize that this is not the verb to be. Then we need to analyze all the sentence. In this case, we have the verb in past participle. That's how we know that it is, as you already said, has. But if we had, for example, an adjective, a nationality, a name, an occupation, in those cases, then the contraction would mean verb to be. Very good. What Jorge said in the chat, that's how we also recognize that part. And also talking about stated verbs. The stated verbs, the information, sorry, about the stated verbs not only applies for present perfect in the simple form, for any simple tense. We can't use the progressive forms with stated verbs. I'm talking about verbs like the verb to be, feel, hate, love. I have to be honest, of course. I'm talking about the proper grammatical structure, you know, how it is supposed to be written in an academic context. Because in real life, probably if you have also friends living abroad, or you have watched movies or in video games, some people also use those verbs in continuous form. And in terms of communication, there is no real problem. But remember, guys, that we always insist on the fact that we are talking about an academic context. And in the academic context, they shouldn't be used in continuous form. But in real life, people use known, like knowing, you know, in a continuous form. That's like no real like hassle at the end of the day. Keep in mind the continuous, something that it's still happening. We can see the progress of the action. It's been raining since yesterday, like last weekend here in Bucaramanga. Like it started yesterday, raining on Friday. It continued raining on Saturday, and it was also raining on Sunday. So the action was progressive. It actually didn't finish during 3 days, right? We could see that it started in the past, and in that moment, it continued in our present. So that is going to be one of the main differences. Not only the context, in some cases, there are some expressions, you know, that we can use to recognize which tense to use. Before I show you the expressions, they are not bulletproof, you know. we would always need the context. That's the one that is going to help us recognize if it is simple or continuous. Usually, you know, notice it says are common. We can say that for when we're talking about how long something has continued. Remember, like the period of time. As we already said, since when we're talking about the point it started, you know. Also, when we are talking about how long something is, we can also use during to talk about that period of time. We can also talk about recently or lately, and also ever or never based on the grammatical structure. Remember that ever is for questions, right? Have you ever visited blah, blah, blah? And never, when we're talking about the statement, never being already negative. We don't say haven't, never. It would be like redundant, okay? Well, guys, but of course, my intention is not to confuse you. But as I was telling you, keep in mind that we always need the context. We can conjugate any verb that we want in any tense. The idea would be to recognize, according to the context, if I'm talking about an action that has already finished or an action that is in progress. And based on that, I can recognize if it is the simple or the continuous form. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at the homework that we had. Yesterday, we were comparing which tenses, guys? Which tenses were we comparing yesterday? Don't tell me that you don't remember. Se les olvidó, no puede ser. Guys, yesterday, remember that we were talking about present perfect and past simple. All of them are connected, you know. Past simple, we already said that the action is completely finished. Let's see how it was. Let's have a look at the screen. Only 8 people, but I know, guys, that you are really busy and also that you were doing the project, plus the activities in the virtual campus. I know that it's not like you have a lot of free time. The winners were Maria V, Vanessa, and Kiara. Notice 1 point difference, almost. Okay. Let's see the others that also participated. Manuel, Jorge, Catherine, Beatriz, and Jessica. Very good, guys. Thank you very much. Once again, I know that you are really, really busy. I want to share with you the answer key of that game, just in case. Am I sharing the whole screen? Yes. For the ones that did it. The idea was to organize the statements. As I was telling you, that was the intention. We had affirmative statements. We also had questions. Don't forget the organization of the questions. And also notice the use of ever. Ever playing like the alguna vez, you know. It is not an obligation to use it, but it is pretty common. In some cases, we want to add this type of words, like already. We place them in the middle of the auxiliary and the verb in past participle. And then we also had the statements in past simple. Well, we have already discussed past simple. We are kind of experts at that one. So I'm sure that this wasn't like a real problem for you. Guys, for the ones who did the activity, the mini homework that we had, any question?
No, miss.
Okay. This was the activity from yesterday. Let me go back in here. So keep that in mind, guys. The intention at the end of the day is to start using these tenses a little bit more. We can say whatever we want using only past simple. Well, of course, talking about a situation from our past, and that is just fine, okay? But the idea is to start integrating, and why not to feel a little bit more comfortable with these tenses and starting thinking about all those different contexts where we can use it. Okay, yeah, I actually noticed that. You are right. Okay. Well, guys, It's session number 9, which means that we also have to have a look at the parameters of the exam. We have our exam next Tuesday, you know. I was telling you at the beginning of the session that I'm not taking for granted that because we have the weekend with a holiday is because you will be absolutely free. Everybody has a different agenda. And of course, I'm sure that some of you are waiting for this day so you can rest a little bit. But we can't forget that this is part of our process. Remember that it is going to be the 21st. Well, to avoid translating, I'm going to move this part into Spanish. Pues por protocolo ustedes saben que eso es algo que tenemos que hacer a pesar de que todos ya están familiarizados con la estructura como tal del examen. Quizás los parámetros que siempre les recomendamos, quizás el que está implícito siempre es la honestidad. Ese es un proceso de ustedes al final del día. Cualquier trampa, cualquier cosa que ustedes hagan, pues recae, digamos, en ustedes, porque luego quienes se tienen que, digamos, responsabilizar de su performance son ustedes mismos. Entonces, primer detalle que es obvio, no solo para el examen, sino para todo lo que hacemos durante todos estos ciclos que hemos venido manejando y que seguiremos manejando, porque esto es un progresivo, definitivamente. Segundo, lo referente a los exploradores, se hace la sugerencia que sea Explorer y Firefox, pero bueno, ustedes ya han usado varios de su preferencia. Hamilton, cuéntame.
Teacher, yo quería pedirle un favor, si era posible en cuanto a la entrega del... Es que si se podría, no sé, mañana a las 8 de la mañana al menos lo de subir el documento.
¿Lo del proyecto?
Sí, es que
Mañana
llevo
es
apenas la
sábado,
mitad,
¿cierto?
pero ahorita sí,
mañana.
mañana es sábado.
¿Sí?
Mañana, ¿sí?
Sí,
Sí,
Listo,
teacher,
hasta
yo
mediodía.
también.
Hasta
Uy, sí.
mediodía. No le puedo decir que a las 8 de la mañana voy a levantarme, bueno, ya estaré levantada, pero no voy a cerrar el link a esa hora. ¿A mediodía? ¿Les parece?
Listo, profe, vale, muchas
Yes,
gracias.
teacher.
Listo, Hamilton. Muy bien. Sí, yo sé que están súper, hiper, mega ocupados.
Yes.
Además de la vida y esto.
And the work.
Ujú.
This week I have very problem with the documents and ministerio, requerimientos.
Yeah, please, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Sí,
these
teacher.
days
Estaba
are crazy.
tarde y atendiendo las clases desde el carro, teacher. Qué pena
Yes.
con usted.
My God. But it's because you're busy, guys. Yo sé que varios tienen la misma situación. Es un esfuerzo
Teacher, I the
grandísimo el que
same.
hacen.
The same.
You too, Mandy.
I'm here in my work.
Okay. Yes, you said that you finished like at 9 p.m. Well, guys, you must be really proud of you. All the hard work that you are putting on this. And you will see the great results eventually, I'm sure. I mean, I don't doubt it, not like in a moment. Entonces, les decía, ya en algunos casos, incluso en algunos exámenes de ciclos pasados, no debería pasar, pero qué horror que uno esté como exento de esas cosas. Se caiga el internet, se cierre la pestaña, se vaya la luz, uno manda mal la mano y pum, se cerró. Lleven las respuestas escritas, ¿listo? Como ustedes se podrán imaginar, al ser B1, no estoy diciendo que el examen sea más difícil, pero sí nos requiere un poco más de tiempo hacer el análisis de las preguntas. Es súper importante. Entonces, no nos confiemos tanto en el tiempo. Bueno, me estoy saltando un poquito acá de la información que siempre les presento referente al desarrollo del examen. Como ustedes saben, no se pueden regresar. Respuesta que envían, respuesta que se fue, por decirlo así. Entonces, tengan mucho cuidado en ese aspecto. Cada audio suena 2 veces, no va a volver a sonar. Entonces, la idea, ojalá es que cuando vayan a presentar el examen en un mundo ideal, obviamente que sea en un contexto donde puedan escuchar, donde no haya ruidos, etcétera, porque pues viene este componente, el del listening, y si no escuchan bien, pues no les va a quedar bien. Y esa no es la idea, que haya como un componente externo que vaya a afectar su performance en esta habilidad como tal. Como siempre, guys. Y bueno, con ustedes realmente problema no hemos tenido en esta parte. Estamos conectados durante la presentación del examen. Todas las respuestas son por chat. sé que puede ser desesperante cuando de pronto tienen alguna pregunta que se la van redactando y como que escriben y sienten que no terminan, pero precisamente la idea es para no interrumpirnos, bueno, ustedes, porque yo estaré atenta a que ustedes estén enviando si tienen alguna pregunta. Entonces, paciencia y las preguntas por el chat. Algunas preguntas de pronto, digamos que son de interés general, por decirlo así. Tenemos la típica de que el vocabulario. Entonces, que escribe la palabra completa, preferiblemente, pero igual si escriben la palabra, es decir, solo las letras que hacen falta para completar la palabra, no hay problema. Ustedes se lo podrán imaginar a pesar de que es una página, por decirlo así, contratada para la creación del examen, etcétera, la revisión es manual. Yo reviso punto por punto, porque en algunos casos hay cosas pequeñas que en vez de un punto colocan una coma, digamos cuando estamos hablando de una hora o colocan A punto, M punto, y resulta que la hoja de respuestas decía era AM todo en minúsculo. Entonces, por eso a mí me toca hacer la revisión manual. Yo les decía, no, pues preferiblemente coloquen toda la palabra, pero igual a mí me toca mirar punto por punto de cada uno de ustedes. No crean que es que simplemente llega el resultado y yo lo pongo en un Excel y ya. No, tengo que mirar cada examen, cada apartado. Entonces, hay preguntas, como les decía, que son de interés general, como hay otras que sí de pronto ustedes tienen más particularmente. Yo sé que ustedes lo saben, pero no me pueden preguntar acerca del significado de palabras o si les está quedando bien. De pronto, explicar un poco más una instrucción. Esa parte obviamente sí, pero respuestas como tal, no. Y bueno, si lo van a hacer desde el celular como sitio de escritorio para que les permita navegar más fácilmente, ojalá lo puedan hacer desde un equipo, ya sea un portátil o uno de escritorio, pero pues si las circunstancias nos obligan desde el celular, pues se hace desde el celular. No hay ningún problema. Eso sí, tener mucho cuidado, quizás de no cambiar de una aplicación a la otra para evitar que de pronto se nos pierda el progress que ya se lleva o se cierre la pestaña, que ya sabemos que infortunadamente es algo que puede pasar. Y bueno, ustedes saben que me tienen que informar siempre al final que envían el examen. Ustedes ya se han dado cuenta que yo tengo un examen ya listo por defecto. Ustedes me envían el mensaje, yo reviso el correo, ya llegó, listo. Se puede desconectar para que se conecte luego a las 8 para la parte del speaking. Guys, seamos muy puntuales el próximo martes. ¿Listo? Yo, de hecho, fue en el ciclo pasado que les dije de pronto conectarnos en lo que se pueda, obviamente como 2 minuticos antes, sobre las 6:58, para arrancar a las 6 en punto, tomar asistencia y no robarles tiempo. A mí lo que me preocupa realmente es eso, que de pronto se nos vaya el tiempo con que les robe 5 minutos, son 5 minutos que de pronto al final les va a hacer falta para el speaking. Bueno, no les va a hacer falta realmente, solo que se van a demorar más. Entonces, ojalá nos podamos conectar lo más puntual posible para que tengan la hora y 10 minutos tal cual establecida. Ah, no, no es la hora y 10 minutos. Ay, qué vergüenza, eso quedó grabado. La ignorancia, son 110 minutos que dura la prueba como tal. Y pues como tenemos hora y 45, pues la idea es nos queda casi que apenitas, como 5 minuticos ahí raspando que quedan haciendo falta. Guys, no sé si tengan alguna pregunta.
Teacher,
Señor.
teacher, me preocupa un poco las actividades que hemos hecho en clase. Yo estoy atrasado en algunas porque pues salgo muy tarde y no alcanzo a hacerla y al otro día entro ya a trabajar. En el trabajo que yo estoy no puedo entrar computadores ni ningún elemento ajeno, inclusive el celular, pues está solo permitido en algunos momentos por seguridad de la información. Entonces se me ha hecho difícil hacer esos trabajos. Hasta mañana tengo un espacio en la mañana donde voy a adelantar todo eso, profe, pues algunas cosas pendientes.
Mandy, realmente ya están cerrados. Igual yo no tomo absolutamente todos. Yo les contaba que yo tomo, en este caso voy a tomar 4. Y bueno, entiendo que pues por su trabajo demanda cierta seguridad y pues no es, y además de todo pues el tiempo. Porque yo les contaba que bueno, la actividad es para hacer en clase, pero por la razón que pueda surgir no se puede hacer. Yo les decía, la actividad queda habilitada hasta el día siguiente a las 6 de la tarde, porque yo también por tiempo pues tengo que empezar como a calificar y hacerle la retroalimentación. Pero las que ya revisé, no me suena, es decir, Mendy, no me suena que hayan 3 ceros en su contra, por decirlo así. Entonces, pues,
Profe.
entiendo la situación,
Ah,
pero
bueno.
pues ya, Digamos que ya se cerró. Señora Manuela, creo que fue.
Que solo tomas 4, no entendí. ¿Qué tomas?
Es decir, venga, les proyecto acá. Y estoy compartiendo. Como bueno, no tenía algo programado de esa sección para hoy, no lo tenía que habilitar. Ah, bueno, a mí me sale un poquito diferente a ustedes, pero yo sé que no hay problema. Eso somos nosotros. Recuerden que las notas de lo que es trabajo en clase sale de dos componentes. De cosas que hacemos nosotros en clase, más lo que ustedes hacen en clase con la profe Laura Juliana. ¿Listo? Entonces, ella me envía su nota y yo promedio con las notas que saco de acá. ¿Listo? Entonces, por ejemplo, esta ya fue la actividad que se revisó. ¿Listo? En este caso fue la actividad que hicimos del correo, que fue individual. Algunos no la alcanzaron a enviar. Fue en nuestra sesión 3. Fue no me acuerdo exactamente qué días. Entonces, las notas, digamos, lo que yo saco va de acá. Yo espero que Laura Juliana, de las cosas que ustedes han hecho con ella, ya me mande la nota. Y eso va 50 y 50. Entonces, es el promedio de estas con el promedio que ella me envíe. Y de ahí es donde sale la nota de la parte de quizzes. ¿Listo?
Ok, teacher, thank you.
Welcome. Sí, yo me atrevo a decir que nunca les queda tan bajita, menos que no hayan hecho nada de nada ni con Laura ni conmigo, pero yo sé que eso no pasa, que en algunos casos, lo que contaba Mendy, por el trabajo no se pueden conectar, no les permite ya hacer la actividad, pero por mucho, me atrevo a decir, será una que se escape. Pero como tal, porque ya hice la revisión de 3, no tengo en mi memoria que tengan 0. Que alguien diga, que yo diga, uy, tiene 3 ceros, ¿cómo así? No, nadie está crítico, por decirlo así. Guys, any other question? Que ya se nos acabó el tiempo, no quiero robarles tiempo. Well, guys. Entonces, quedamos para no robarles más tiempo que para lo del proyecto. Entonces, plazo hasta mañana a las 12 mediodía. ¿Listo? Quiero pensar que de pronto con ese poquito de tiempo quizás puedan respirar un poco más. Los cuestionarios de la plataforma de la aula virtual sí van hasta el martes. Les contaba que no podemos extendernos más por lo que terminamos entre semana para arrancar el B1.2 el viernes. ¿Listo? Entonces, pues en ese caso sí no me puedo pasar de ese día, ya que mi plan es quizás ese mismo martes o madrugada el miércoles en la mañana subir las notas para que ya ustedes tengan la información. ¿Listo? Guys, nos vemos el lunes. Ay, perdón, no, el martes. Thank you very much.
Profe, thank
Qué
you.
horror, qué vergüenza. Bye,
Bye.
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 Until Tuesday.
Bye,
Until
teacher.
Tuesday. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye.